Okay, ready? All right, y'all, we're going to get started. A, meeting opening. A1, call to order. A2, adoption of the agenda. Are there any consent agenda items that a board member would like to have discussed as an action item? Hearing none. Do I have a motion that the governing board adopt the meeting agenda?
I move that we adopt the meeting agenda.
Thank you, Ms. O'Neill France. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you, Mr. Oropesa. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Moving to B, executive session. I call for a motion that the governing board enter into executive session.
I move that we enter into executive session.
Thank you, Ms. O'Neill France. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you, Mr. Oropesa. All those in favor say aye. Aye. We are now in executive session. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It's not the same without Miss De Ocampo. We're going to observe a moment of silence. Moving to D, information items. D1, financial report. The financial report is there for you in your board agenda. Going to E, public comment. We do not have any public comment tonight. Moving to F, consent agenda. F1, approval of consent agenda items. I call for a motion that the governing board approve consent agenda items F2 through F17.
I move that we accept consent agenda items F2 through F17.
Thank you, Mr. Solorio. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. O'Neill France. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Discussion?
You have to wait until your board comments.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. We're going to G, public hearing. G1, public hearing on the 2022-2023 expenditure budget. Pursuant to ARS 38431.02, this public hearing is convened to allow the board to receive public comments prior to consideration and/or adoption of the 2022-2023 expenditure budget. We will now start our public hearing. We do not have any public comment, but this is an opportunity for board members to ask any questions or make any comments on the expenditure budget. Good? Are we good? Good? Let's see, adopted budget changes. The following is a listing of changes from the proposed to the adopted budget for the Alhambra School District. M&O budget increase $5,634,445 due to base level and Group B weight changes. M&O override budget increased $210,702 due to changes in base level. M&O increased a total of $5,845,147. The capital budget increased a total of $495,745 due to the base level change. Ms. Bilyeu and Mr. Huseman are available to answer any questions. Hearing none, we're going to move to H, business services. H1, adoption of the 2022-2023 expenditure budget. I call for a motion that the governing board adopt the proposed 2022-2023 expenditure budget.
I move that we adopt the proposed 22-23 expenditure budget.
Thank you, Ms. O'Neill France. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Solorio. Any discussion? What I'll say is a great job to the entire team, to the administration, to everyone who put this budget together. Really appreciate the hard work. And I'm really glad that we can say that we are in a good place in terms of our finances. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes. Moving to H2, Alhambra Traditional School Parent Drop-Off Pickup and Field Renovations. Administration recommends that the governing board approve the proposed Alhambra Traditional School Parent Drop-Off Pickup and Field Renovations not to exceed $1,005,719, which includes $15,000 in contingency due to volatile market pricing fluctuations. I call for a motion that the governing board approve the proposed Alhambra Traditional School field and parking lot renovations.
I move that the governing board approve the proposed Alhambra Traditional School parent drop-off, pickup, and field renovations.
Thank you, Mr. Solorio. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you, Ms. O'Neill France. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Moving to I, Human Resources, Superintendent Performance Pay for 2021, 2022. I call for a motion that the governing board approve the superintendent's performance pay for 2021, 2022 school year as discussed in executive session.
I move that we approve the superintendent's performance pay for the 2021-2022 school year as discussed in executive session.
Thank you, Ms. O'Neill France. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Solorio. Any discussion? What I'll say in terms of discussion is thank you, Superintendent Mayas, for a great job in your first year as superintendent. We are so grateful to have you. And yeah, good job. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes. Moving to I2, revised parent volunteer job description. I call for a motion that the governing board approve the revised parent volunteer job description.
I move that we approve the revised parent volunteer job description.
Thank you, Ms. O'Neill France. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Solorio. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. I3, 2022-2023 Performance Pay Plan Adoption. The administration recommends that the governing board approve the adoption of the Alhambra District Performance Pay Plan as presented. The Alhambra Elementary School District Performance Pay Plan was developed by a committee of teachers and administrators in compliance with the requirements of the Classroom Site Fund Legislation 15-977. The proposed plan was unanimously approved for recommendation to the governing board by the Performance Pay Plan Committee. I call for a motion that the governing board adopt the proposed Alhambra District Performance Pay Plan.
I move that the governing board approve the adoption of the Alhambra District Performance Pay Plan as presented.
Thank you, Mr. Solorio. And is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. O'Neill France. Discussion? One of the things that I requested on this agenda item was the list of committee members that were a part of this, and there was well over 25. I think there was about 27 committee members from a variety of different schools, and their titles ranged from teacher to administrator. So it was a very collaborative effort, and like in Alhambra, everyone matters. So that is great to see, and I'm glad that there were so many voices putting this plan together. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes. Moving to J, comments and communications. J1, comments from governing board members.
Yeah, I'll start off. I think I'll start with our consent agenda item F5, our Vitalist Health Foundation grant. This is a tremendous opportunity for our district. I remember when I first joined the board, I was looking at the piece of dirt right behind the district lot, and I always tell the story that when I was a student here at this district, that piece of dirt was exactly the same thing, although sometimes there'd be buses on it and sometimes there wouldn't. And I had proposed the idea of doing teacher housing to Mr. Islas, to which he said, find the money and then talk to me again. So it took me a long time because he's no longer here. But step one into turning that piece of dirt that, you know, has sat vacant for a long time and really, you know, would probably sit vacant for another 20 or 30 years if we didn't have organizations and partnerships like the Vitalist Health Foundation to help school districts look at ways to provide housing for our teachers. I know right now, with the cost of housing, the rising rents, it's become harder and harder for our teachers to make ends meet, raise families, and stabilize their lives. So for our school district to step up in this way and to start exploring alternative ways to support our teachers and our staff at large is really a huge win for the district. The other thing, we've been monitoring the periwinkle situation pretty closely. And Dr. Maez and I had a quick meeting with GCU and made sure to voice our concerns and our expectations for the way we want our families treated through that relocation process. So we're here kind of, stepping outside of the boundaries of our school to represent our communities, our families, and making sure that we can use our school district's platform to support them in any way.
And I want to thank you again for bringing the housing idea to us, because this can be really exciting. When I saw that grant, I was also as excited as you are. All in education, I just want to say, I think it is so important to empower our parents. I think you should know, I've talked about this many times, parents they're our partners. If we don't have them, we're not going to do well, nor will the children. And so I think that just being able to give them this type of instruction that they can start providing instruction and supporting families, I think that will really support our parent liaisons. So I just want to say for everyone, the next time we see you, I think you'll have already gone back, right? Well, first day of school, yeah, right? Yeah, you'll already be back. First day of school is the 9th, and we won't see you till the 11th. So anyhow, I just want to make sure you let all your staff members, the ones who weren't here and everything, please let them know that we're all thinking of them, and it's going to be a great year. I'm excited for this year to start. It just seems like it's a little more calm than it has been, and so I think it's going to be a great year. So good luck to all of you.
Thank you. And I wanted to highlight the $1 Million Teacher Project agreement at Madrid Neighborhood School. This agreement has been on our consent agenda items multiple times, and it just shows that that program is working. And so it's really important that we provide as much community resources to our teachers and to our staff as possible. One of the other things I wanted to comment, I had a discussion with the superintendent about keeping our offices open during the summer, and that's been very successful. I'm just really proud that the administration and all of the staff have been able to pull that off and to make sure that our parents have a place to go during the summer when they either have questions about enrollment or any questions whatsoever. So just good job on doing that, and I'm really, really proud that we were able to get that funded.
Sorry, I forgot. Thank you, Valencia. This is great. We love our books. It looks seriously like something they could sell. Fundraiser, make money. No one can hear you. Yes, they can hear me. I'm loud. They can hear me. So anyhow, thank you so much for the books. So please let them know that we really appreciate those and look forward to reading their stories.
All right, any other comments? All right, moving to H2, Governing Board Direction and/or Agenda Item Request.
Yeah, just one quick request. Dr. Maez, you had shared with me earlier today updates regarding the exploration of dual language or Spanish immersion program at the district. Yeah, I think it would be helpful if, as that moves along, we got just regular updates on the implementation and which direction the district's gonna move in. I'm definitely really excited about this and being able to share our progress with the community at large to know when, a realistic timeline of when that's gonna be started will be definitely very useful.
One of the things that I would like for us to talk about or consider in the future is our budget. So we just talked about, the increase our budget. We approved our expenditure budget, and how can we get that money into the hands of our staff? We know that housing, inflation, gas, variety of different things, food, are all rising costs, and so we have to make sure that our teachers can drive to work and get here. We got to make sure that they're able to house themselves, feed themselves, take care of their families, take care of themselves. And so that is my request, and we've already been in discussions about this, but just want to make sure that we really look at how we can get as much money into the pockets of our staff as possible. Thank you. Good. All right, moving to H3, comments from superintendent and executive team.
Good evening, everyone. This evening, we'll begin our updates with Ms. Gonzalez.
Good evening, Governing Board President Mr. Conchas, Governing Board members, Superintendent Dr. Maez. First, I'd like to celebrate, well, I guess all of my updates are about celebrating the great learning that's been going on this summer, right? We had so much inspired staff wanting to learn and get ready for the students coming in August. So we had a team, an AVID team of 4 Alhambra schools, Granada West, Granada East, Westwood, and James W. Rice. They went to Anaheim, California for an AVID conference. For some of them, it was new. For some, it was a refresher, but boy, did they come back very inspired. We had 37 people attend, and they just raved about how it promoted the instructional strategies and the learning strategies that students develop, but also just the alignment of the AVID goals to our site goals, to our PLC continuum. They raved about the bonding that they did with their own teams in addition to leaders across the country. They had some students that were former AVID students present, and they talked about how confidently those students spoke and how ambitious they were for their futures and how much they attributed that to the experiences they had in AVID. So our leaders and our teachers are ready to bring that same passion to our kids starting in August and really break down some barriers and connect with families. So that was super exciting, and thank you to the team that went. We also had a lot of folks attending CPI training and dyslexia training. So we had one of our first opportunities of teaching our staff CPI strategies before school starts. Typically, once everyone would come back, our targeted folks would receive the training. Well, this year we decided, hey, we're going to offer it. We see who's interested to develop those de-escalation strategies for our students, in addition to other types of management when students are struggling with their behavior in a more extreme type of way. And they just celebrated how successful those opportunities were. Jill Bati and Cecilia Salcido were the ones who did the training for us. So we have our own in-house trainers, and they made it fun. They made it engaging. It's summertime. They wanted to make it worth their while. And so we had use out of that. And then the dyslexia training, we had about 37 of our staff attend dyslexia training. So that taught them really about the science of learning to read. And we know through our data that that is a target focus of ours. So we had just a great handful of people learning what that core instruction needs to be to support our kids when they return. So lots of great stuff in the summer. Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa. All right, and now Ms. Billiou.
Thank you. Good evening, President Conchas, members of the board, and Dr. Maez. I am excited to expound upon what President Conchas shared about the offices being open and his appreciation for that, because our Comrail team continues to reinforce our push for enrollment, and that is actually realized because people can actually show up and enroll. So, they've been working hard with a lot of strategies. You see the banners around, you see our beautiful new marquees, with promoting that enrollment, their social media campaigns, lots of strategies in place to make sure we capture every kid we can get our hands on. So very appreciative that the offices were open so that those efforts don't wait. We can maximize them now. Also very thankful for the parent volunteer coordinator job description that was approved tonight. That might seem like a pretty little thing to be so appreciative of, but what you don't probably know is that that was the result of a collaborative effort the entire parent volunteer coordinator team came together because they value a job description that really represents the work they do. And so this wasn't just a task of HR to clean things up. This was a collaborative effort that really reinforces and values the work that they do. And they believe in the importance of that work and the value of that work and wanted it reflected in their job description, and HR stepped up and made that happen for them. So thank you for approving that. Wanted to share a highlight of the last few weeks for me has been supporting our principals in making sure they have the resources they need to make sure all of our staff are welcomed back in a super fun and welcoming, we want to make things nice as our staff come back to serve our kids. And that has been I feel like Santa or Oprah, trying to help them out and make sure that they have what they need to make sure things get done. So that has been a real blessing to me. And I appreciate the opportunity to do everything I can to move barriers for our people so that we can do that for our staff. Also want to remind you, and I'm looking forward to the leadership conference, our team has worked very hard, and I'm proud to report that we have received enough donations to cover the entire cost. So super exciting, and teamwork makes it happen. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Mandy. All right, and so you hear everyone's working really hard, and I'm just so very grateful. Even as I hear the things that you've celebrated, I know, Melissa, just thinking about the classes, I couldn't believe how packed the classes were and how many people were there, and just really enjoying sharing their stories and learning together. And I'm so grateful. I know, Mandy, you mentioned all the work that our teams are doing to prepare for the retreat, but really we have the next couple of weeks, we have a lot of training and opportunities to come together, and everybody's been working really, really hard, and I'm so grateful. I'm seeing our director, Maggie, out in the audience now in our preschool. Remember, we're adding 10 teachers to our preschool program, and I know it's a lot of work. And Maggie wrote numerous grants, and we've got over $1 million where children with disabilities are going to have opportunities to learn alongside their typical peers. And I know you're working very hard, and I'm just so grateful. I know, Claire, I'm thinking about our HR department and all the hiring right now. I've been looking at other districts, and we're in a much better place than other districts. And I'm very grateful for the work of our HR team and for all that our leaders are doing to ensure that we're taking care of our staff. And then I'm thinking about Scott. We've had a number of meetings this week, and we are so grateful for the additional funding coming from the state. And I know Scott has his bag of homework for the weekend that he's taking with him as he looks to see how we can maximize the funds we've received to ensure that everyone knows how important they are to the work that we do each and every day for kids. And so each and every one of our team members are working hard. I'm thinking about our schools. So much is happening. If any of you want to come visit our schools, I'd love to take you along with me to see just how hard everyone is working. I know in technology, we had a team of people that were so grateful, Ruben, you leading that team to really prepare the technology to be ready for our kids as they returned. And so, like I said, everyone's working hard, and I'm just so grateful for the wonderful team that we have. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Moving to K, meeting closing. K1, next governing board meeting is August 11th, 2022. A K2 calendar of events, July 20th and 21st, AASD Leadership Conference, 7:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. at the Renaissance Phoenix Glendale Hotel. August 5th, all AESD staff back to school event from 9 to 11 a.m. August 8th, meet the teacher, all AESD sites or schools. August 9th is the first day of school. August 11th, governing board meeting. August 25th, governing board meeting. And September 5th, Labor Day, and AESD will be closed. K3, adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Thank you, Mr. Solorio. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. O'Neill France. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you, everyone.